Good morning, good morning, good morning. Um, so first off, right off the gate, I just want to say that I'm not going to make it in the 15 minutes. I already know. This will probably be a part 1 and 2. Okay, so the topic of this video is I wanted to stay on the voting theme, talking about voting in politics. In the last video, I talked about just giving honor to elders and, why we shouldn't vote, right? But what actually inspired this was what I'm going to talk about in this video, and that is really abortion and the DNC, right? The National Convention, the DNC. And what's inspired this was I was talking to a family member. I don't keep up with the news and stuff, but I was talking to a family member. Sorry, you may hear noise. My uncle is here. But anyways, I was talking to a family member and they were telling me about at the DNC that they had like abortion trucks. So basically trucks there that passed out abortion pills and trucks to give vasectomy for the men. And so I was I was like, whoa, that's intense. So I wanted to do this video, and it's just a reminder for people that say that they believe in Yah or say that they believe in God, right? And the reason is because, we know people who are atheists or agnostic or different religions, there's free will. But for me, it's more about this whole thing of voting, and it's deeper than what we think, and the things that we choose to give our agreement to. And so that's going to be more the theme of this video. I do want to share scriptures about like abortion, but I know that tossing scriptures at you guys is not going to it doesn't really change anybody. Really, I want to talk about the art of the sacrifice, right? So when we vote and we vote into these systems, we're giving our agreement, and we're giving our agreement into things that Yah does not, first of all, that Yah will judge and that Yah does not consider. So in my notes, I just want to again do a friendly reminder. When it comes to these politicians, be it Democrat or Republic, you want to know them by their fruit, right? You don't, again, in the war video, we talked about being pro-Yah, but it's the same thing here. It's not really about being pro-life or pro-choice. You want to be pro-Yah. You want to be pro-Yah, and you want to recognize when you are giving your agreement to things that Yah is not a part of and that Yah will judge. When it comes to the Democratic National Convention and passing out abortion pills, I just want to share, actually, I also want to share about education. I believe that everything can be a prayer point. So if you believe in Yah, but the things that I'm saying are foreign to you, that's a call to pray, right? You want to pray and ask Yah to teach you about abortion, to teach you about child sacrifice, to teach you, now don't study it too much, but to teach you about rituals. Because really that was a ritual. That's really where I'm going with this. That was a ritual. And we have, again, in these end times, we have to be careful who we give our allegiance to, our alliance to. But just having someone read scriptures to you is not going to do that. So my prayer is that you will watch this video, and if you are on the fence about where Yah stands and where you should give your allegiance, you will take that into prayer. Meditate. Study Molech, study scriptures about child sacrifice, study scriptures. I'm going to read them, but you want to study that on your own so that it's a witness in your spirit. And I also I have in my notes. This will help us all judge to know them by their fruits, right? So what are the fruits? So I just want to, as it relates to voting and all these other things, I just want to talk about, you want to come out. You don't want to give your allegiance to any of this whether it's Republican or Democrat. So we'll talk about both ways. So just a heads up, because both systems are against Yah, they're just against Yah in different ways. And again, both systems are leading unto the Antichrist. So for Republicans, they have this veneer of trying to be holy unto God, but it's still a show. Republicans will talk about abortions, and Republicans will typically talk about homosexualities. But what they won't talk about is bloodlines and race and who the children of Israel are. So so each party has a sacrifice. Each party has a sacrifice. The sacrifice for Republicans is they'll talk about abortions, they'll talk about homosexuality, but they won't ever address who the true children of Israel are. They won't ever address things that kind of have to do with Black people, right? They're not going to do that. So that's the sacrifice there. So we don't want to be deceived in these end times to think that the Republican Party is for God. I know that's a narrative out there that Trump is for God, the Republican Party is for God. How they'll get you is they'll start saying, well, this party, is against all these things that God hates. But again, it's all deceptions. Both parties are leading to the Antichrist. Whether you do Republican or whether you do Democrat, they're both leading to the Antichrist. So again, the sacrifice for the Republican Party is, they're not for Yah's people. They're just not. They're not for Yah's people. On the Democrat side, which is what I want to talk about with the Democratic National Convention, the Democrats are doing straight up witchcraft. I just went that convention was witchcraft straight up. So at the end of the day, the issue is a lot of people don't know rituals when they see it. So when you're talking about the Democratic National Convention and you're talking about them at the convention having trucks that pass out abortion pills, having trucks that give vasectomies, well, the issue is that's a sacrifice. But they're not going to tell you that what you just did was give a sacrifice. So if you give your agreement to stuff like that, you are casting your vote, your agreement, your allegiance to things that to things being sacrificed to the dark kingdom. And that's just the truth, okay? If you choose to take the abortion pills, that's a sacrifice because Yah, we know that Yah is against abortion, right? If, as far as the men, and I actually feel like we don't think about this and we don't talk about it, but for men, it's still a sacrifice. They were doing, I think they were giving out vasectomies, but it's not preached. But Yah, or God, he talks about a man and the seed being holy, particularly for Israelite men. For Israelite men, the seed is holy. So I'm trying to connect all this and show you that when you cast your vote, when you support things like the Democratic National Convention, when you don't study what are the fruits of the Spirit, what are the things that Yah hates, a lot of this stuff is just to get you on board and to get your agreement to go against the things Yah hate and to do straight up sacrifices, which will lead again to the Antichrist. So what I'm saying is, it may not seem like it's a big deal that a truck passing out abortion pills or a truck giving vasectomies, that may not seem like it's a big deal. But in the spiritual realm, that was a sacrifice. Whether we want to call it or not, that was actually, you're getting into ritualistic stuff. That was actually a sacrifice. Because Yah calls the seed of a man, particularly an Israelite man, holy. When men have to consider where do they place their seed, it can be defiled. So getting vasectomies at a Democratic National Convention, you just put your seed on the altar. That's what I'm saying. You just put your seed on that altar to sacrifice to the God that they are serving with all of this Democratic National Convention. And you know it's not the God of the Bible. You know that anyway, because they wouldn't be requiring that. And then not only that, all of this is leading to the Antichrist. So I'm saying that to say, we don't preach that. We don't talk to men about the defilement. A lot of times we don't. But giving your seed in that way, that's a sacrifice. That's a ritual. When I heard they were doing that, I was like, oh, they're doing straight up rituals at these conventions. Straight up. They're not even hiding it. It's straight up. As far as the women, passing out abortion pills, that's a sacrifice. They're not going to tell you, they don't call it Molech. They don't call it child sacrifice, but abortion, that's what it is. It's child sacrifice. And so what I'm saying is, when you vote, you are giving your allegiance. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Megan, if I don't vote, then I can't, again, it's this idea that if I don't vote, I can't complain when certain things happen because I didn't vote. But I just want you, if you are someone that's watching this and you believe in Yah, I want you to think about another mindset. More than if I don't vote, I can't complain when stuff happens. I want you to start thinking about when the Antichrist comes, you can't complain. If you live to see the day of the Antichrist, if you live to see the days of his tortures, the same way, you feel like if you don't vote, you can't complain now. When the Antichrist comes, you can't complain then. Because it starts here. You see what I'm saying? The Antichrist doesn't just show up. It's, you know how they talk about, you cook the, is it the lobster? You cook the lobster slow. You turn the fire up slowly. It's these things, it's these sacrifices along the way that will lead to the culmination. So I just want to come out and share your votes, who you give your allegiance to matters. So whether we want to acknowledge it or not, you are voting your way into the Antichrist system. And at this point, they're not hiding it. If they're doing abortion trucks and vasectomy trucks at the conventions, they are telling you what gods they serve. It's just that they hype up a bunch of witchcraft. They put idols in front of us. They put celebrities. Now listen, I'm Black. This is another thing that I feel like as Black people, I've tried to warn, we are the Israelites, and so they always try to get our agreement. So they'll blame us either way. If Kamala gets in, they'll blame us. If she doesn't, they won't, whatever. What I'm trying to say is, as Israelites, we have to stop getting seduced by the witchcraft of that, because someone potentially shares our skin, that they have our best interests at heart. I just want to go on record and say, Trump is not for God. Obama's not for God. They're actually for the dark kingdom. And Kamala is not for God. None of them. And to my community, like I said, they want your agreement. They want everybody's agreement, but they want yours. So we just have to study the word of Yah. The best thing is to know the fruit of Yah. You will know them by their fruits. You won't know them by speeches. You won't know them by celebrities standing up. You won't know them by, you won't know them by numbers. Just because a whole bunch of people agree, that's not, you will know them by their fruit. So both parties really are doing their part. That's what I want you to take. Both parties are doing their part to lead us into the Antichrist system. They're both doing their part. We talked about the scripture in Luke where the devil says he offers Jesus or Yeshua the kingdoms of the earth, which means, again, you can't be a high-ranking player in the kingdom of this earth and not be sold out for Satan. Because Satan, that's what Satan offers. He offers the riches and power of this earth. How do you think he's doing that? So if you get it, who are you serving? You see what I'm saying? I love you guys, and I really want you to hear what I'm saying. When you vote, you are voting and giving your allegiance. When they start doing stuff like this, like vasectomy trucks and abortion pills outside the Democratic National Convention, you got to study. Don't study too much. Study Yah, but that's called a ritual. That's a sacrifice. That's a sacrifice. They're not going to call it that, but that's what it is. And so men who got a vasectomy and sacrificed their seed, they did it for the gods that are over that convention. Women who took the abortion pills, people who went and continue to give their agreement. So we want to think about the gods that we're serving. We want to, do I have anything else in my notes? I think that's it. But that's really what I wanted to bring out, is that we want to make sure that we understand rituals and knowing who we're giving our agreement to. None of the parties is holy. Okay, so I'm going to end this here before I run out of time. But the next video, I'm going to keep talking about this, but I'm going to share actual scriptures that have to do with abortion. Okay, love you guys. Bye.